What is going on? Ryan Troy back with another video for you today. And in this video, I want to talk to you about Evoto. Now, if you are a person that watches my channel, you know I am really late when it comes to AI, and I was using Reblum, but this product right here, this application has just fell in my hands in a way that I can't even explain. Now, this is going to be a full tutorial on this for the most part. Okay, so I'm just going to jump straight into it. I will have a code at the bottom where you will get, if I'm not mistaken, 30 credits for free, because this works on the credit system, right? Each credit is one export. Okay, so with those 30 credits that you will get, you can play with unlimited amount of photos. You do not get charged a credit until you decide to export. Now, to me, I think that is a fantastic deal, a fantastic way for them to show you their product and for you to see exactly all the things it could do. Now, we're going to jump straight into this side. This is a photo. Now, I already edited this photo just because I feel Lightroom and Capture One and things like that, you know, those are my edit programs as far as where I do color and make changes like that. Not saying that this can't do it, I'm just way more comfortable with it. But I'll just give you a preview. If you look on this slider, you see pretty much the same things you would get with a Lightroom. Okay, but this is where I like to come over here to where you see portrait retouching, and the reason why is because of all of the things that you can do. Now, if you see at the bottom, I lined up 4 photos here. Okay, so this is one. Now, the reason why, well, we're gonna get to that, but do you see this right here? Do you see this background? I'm going to show you how Evoto makes that easy as well. But let's jump into the first one, because this one is going to be exactly how we pretty much set what we're going to do to every other one. All right, so what I like to do, we start off right here with blemish removal, right? So I honestly like to put this all the way up, and the thing about it is her skin is already pretty good, but I'm gonna show you before. This is before and this is after. Okay, now, as I said, her skin is already good, and I feel like I'm gonna have to bring somebody in with some bad skin just so you can see everything that it does. Now, after that, we have body blemish right here. So we just did the face, and now we are going to do the body. So let's hit body blemish. I put body blemish all the way up just because I trust body blemish not to do anything I do not want it to do. Okay, now we have reduce face shine. Now for this, I like it, but I will just show you what it would do. You see, it kind of mattens out a little bit, and you could adjust this. The thing I like about it is all of these sliders are adjustable. Okay, we have wrinkles in the forehead. She doesn't have any, right? We have eye wrinkles, so we're gonna put that up just to see what part, and it looks like it's getting this area right here. That's fine. We got dark circles. We'll get rid of those. We have eye bags. Okay, this feature right here, I haven't got a chance to use it yet because I haven't shot anyone recently with glasses, but I do know that that is a problem sometimes. It's good that they could fix that. We will have to try that out to see how that go. Now, when it comes to the smile line, right, I'm just going to show you. It kind of does this thing over here in the cheek area a little bit. I don't care for it. If you saw that, neck wrinkle is really big, is great, but as you can see, she has something on her neck already, so you won't be able to really see that as well. Now the lip wrinkles and flakes, I like this for some things. I think her lips look good, but I do want to show you exactly what it does. Now, you see how that kind of smoothed that out a little bit. Now, like I said, I have no problem. You know what? I'm gonna crank it up to about right here a little bit. Okay, now double chin is really good. Double chin, and what it usually does is it burns a little area down here just to kind of shape it a little bit. And for this, we're just getting it in this little area right here. The best thing about it is if it doesn't need it, it won't do it. Now, that's what I really love. It's not going to just do something to do it. So this is before and this is after. And I also want to show you one thing. So let's say right here we see this. Let's just say this is, I don't know, a mole, right? Is you're like, all right, I don't want it to touch that. Well, here's the thing. You could come right up here to whatever you're using. Right now I'm in blemish removal. So you press this pencil icon, and this you can, you know, show the mask. And what you could do is go ahead on and draw in this area. Whoops, let me put my opacity to 100%, because you could dial it down. You might not like it being so intense, and then just, you know, dial it down. I put it at 100% just so it knows not to touch this. So now when I press OK, boom, it pops that back up. That's the best thing, like having that control to be able to let it know what you want it to touch and what you do not want it to touch is amazing. Okay. Now, with that being said, we have armpit touch up, which is fantastic. You know what? I am going to actually jump into, we're going to come back to that, but it's just because some of these things I want to show you in the photos that I already have, right? Like for instance, I have a photo, let's see. And I did all of these as well, right? So this is a before, and this is an after my edits. So you'll see that I have so many different things. And the reason why is because I didn't export a lot of these yet. I just wanted to play with it, right? And but what I wanted to show you was this. So this was before, and this is after. Before, after. But what I really wanted to show you, the whole reason I came here, is I actually was looking for a photo that already has some type of armpits, and I just saw one in the photo of Michelle. So let's come here to armpits, and you can see you know, how it deals with that. And I don't even think I have armpits all the way up. I don't. I have it at 22. So let's put it all the way there, just so we can see exactly what it is that it would do. And that's before and that's after, and I really do love it. I still haven't finished this photo yet, but keep in mind, all of this is with Evoto, all of this is with sliders. But let's jump back in to what I was already working on, because I don't want this video to be too long. I really want to show you everything that it can do. Okay, so let's go ahead on and jump back in. She doesn't have any armpits that we can do anything with, no stomach stretch marks, which is a nice thing. Now they have beard protection, but one thing you will notice up here at the top is it automatically knew that it was working on a female's face, which is another great thing, right? So you could put beard protection on, but you know, usually you'll use that with men. And if you already thinking what happens if there are multiple people in, well, they have this individual edit tab where you can work on individual people instead of it applying to the full image. Okay, now let's go to skin retouching. Now we got face retouch. Okay, so we could even with dodge and burn. Anytime you get anything that does dodge and burn, it is always going to be real, like it's going to be better because of the way it's doing it. Now this is pretty much trying to even the skin tones, right? So what I would, and you see, so this is none and this is that. Now what I would consider even with dodge and burn doing is micro dodge and burn. If you know what micro dodge and burn is, that is what this is doing right now. Okay, so it's all on you on how you do it. Once again, you get this pencil icon. If you don't want it to touch a certain area that is touching, you could tell it not to. So think of this as micro dodge and burn, trying to pretty much smooth out certain areas that has harsh transitions. Okay, now right under it, we have scope with dodge and burn. Now think of this as global dodge and burn, right? Now micro is where we are, you know, going with spots that's too dark and lightening them. Global dodge and burn is when we're sculpting the face, right? We're giving extra light on the highlights. We're giving extra contrast on the shadowy areas, right? So as I go up with that, that's what you're going to see it do. You're going to see it literally sculpt her face like that. Okay, now we're going to come down on that. We don't want to be too dramatic with it, but I do like global dodge and burn. Usually when I edit, I do that last. Global dodge and burn is usually always last, for me at least. Now texture smoothing is exactly what it says. It is going to smooth it it's gonna smooth the texture in it, but it's not gonna blur it. That's the best thing about this. As you can see, if we go before and we go after, you don't really get blur like that. It does such an amazing job. And although this video may be a little long, I just want to really show what all of these options do. I may make some quicker videos, but I think that this is really important because as a person that retouches, I understand what every slider is doing, and I want to explain it more because you can really overdo this by just trying to put sliders up while not knowing what each slider do. Now, soften skin will get rid of some texture. I will let you know that for all of you people that may not like texture. That's what this will do. So this right here is soften skin, and I'm gonna turn it to 0. Now you probably can't see it, it's a little subtle, but I'm not a fan of this. I'm just gonna be honest, I'm just not a fan of this. But for the body, I would be, but not by that much. When it comes to the face, I always want my face as like detailed as possible, right? Oh wait, I touched the wrong one. This is the body one. So I'm just paying attention to the body, seeing what it does. It's not that much body on here. Oh, I'm so happy that I caught this. Now, if you see in these fingers right here, I'm not sure if this, like the detail had went away a little bit. I don't like that. And I'm not sure if that came from my body blemish. Let's see, let's take that down. It did. So since it did, I will take this pencil icon. I will bring my opacity a little bit down because I don't mind it doing what it's doing. I just don't want it to do it at that full extent, right? So we're gonna take it down like that, and like that. And let's see what that looks like. Boom, brought some of that detail back. I like that. All right, back to what we were doing. I should probably pay attention to the full photo. So this is another thing that I really like. This is skin texture, right? So we have matte, we have satin, and we have dewy. Dewy is a real glowy, you know what matte is. I'm gonna click it now. So this is matte, okay? Not a fan of it, it's not my favorite. Here is satin, and I kind of stay here more than dewy, which is really bright, but I always change the sliders right under it. So glowiness, I'm gonna bring this down a little bit. Texture, I'm gonna bring up, and clarity, I'm gonna bring up just a tad bit because like I said, I really like a detailed face, okay? And that is really detailed. I love it. Okay. So now after that, we have the AI Unified Skin Complexion. Now what this essentially does is, as you see, she has makeup on, right? And when you do this, it is trying to flatten the color all the way. So I'm gonna just come here like that. You see how I really flattened it? I don't like that when you have makeup like this because in my opinion, it's kind of getting rid of it. If we go back, you could kind of, like you see a face more. But what I will do is turn it up some. I just don't go too crazy with this. Boom. If you go crazy with the body, you are not gonna like it. And I'm gonna show you why. This is 100%. Look at that. This does not look right. Okay, so we're gonna come down on this, but we will come up a little bit because sometimes you have shadows from how you light this. As you can tell, I lit this mostly from camera right, bringing the shadow on this side. We don't want the shadow side to look like the light side. It wouldn't, you know. Now here's the thing I'm gonna rush through because I can get lost in this, but I just want to show you how crazy this could be. Okay, so this is face reshape. If you want, you can change the face to be something like you like. Now me, that looks good, right? I know a lot of you may not do this, but I just want to show you where it came from, right? That's that. If you want to change it horizontally, look at that. We can kind of rotate that face a little bit, right? And it still looks realistic. That's -11, meaning I made a change. Look at that, right? And then also if you want to adjust the tilt, right? Maybe when you told her to turn a certain way, it was just off just by a little bit. Look at that. We change things and it doesn't look like it. Now you can also do other things. We're not going to get into that. You can change the face shape. You know what I mean? You can do that. You can get the temple. You can do the cheekbones. It's so much that you can do with these sliders to fine tune it. We could come over to the eyebrows, make them thicker. We can change the distance of it. This application is crazy with all of the things you can do. Same thing with the eyes, right? You can make them bigger, you can make them small. You know, you can change the distance, bring them closer, bring them further apart. It's so much you can do with facial reshape. Not gonna stay on that much here, but it is a thing. Same thing with this. You have the gentle smile, right? And you literally get to change that. This part is wicked, and I would not recommend this because these teeth look fake. Watch that. Look at that. It gave her teeth, okay? It gave her teeth. So we're gonna go back down, and that's all the way. You can like just have it a little bit where it parts a little bit more, you know what I mean? All the way to that. Teeth touch up is good. I will tell you what it does. It does teeth whitening and everything. Pretty teeth is horrible. Never choose that. Trust me on that. Never choose that. Never. Okay. After that, we have eyes. Now, I love eyes. Watch this, because I always do whitening of eyes, right? So we could do that, and you may see these little red veins that are so annoying to edit that are in people's eyes. Let me see. I think I went too high with the brightness. Let me come down a little bit. Now, these veins, these red veins, they make it so easy with this slider. Watch this. Boom. Got rid of the whole thing. That easy. Super simple, super easy. Still gonna come down a little bit on the brightness of the eyes. And now we go from, look at that. This is beautiful. I love it. I love it already. All right. Now you can also, if you want to, you know, add catch lights. You have indoor catch lights, right? But let's go to your general for like a softbox in the eye. The best thing also about this is you can choose the amount of how you want it, right? If you want it subtle or whatever, you can give extra catch lights in the eyes, okay? Next is probably one of my favorite parts, which would be the makeup. So your highlights is gonna touch the area of your highlights. Your contour is gonna contour the makeup and everything. My eyebrow makeup, I do love to do a lot, well, not a lot, but a little bit. I'll push it up just to make it a little dark. Now, with that being said, I jump to contour because you have these faces and it will show you exactly what it's doing, okay? And I play around with these. So let's say something like this. If your model doesn't have makeup on, don't worry, you can give her some. And I'm gonna put this up to be extreme, and I'm gonna take it all the way down. Because what you can do is you can fine tune exactly how you want these to be. And all of them are a little bit different, but I kind of like the way that looks. That looks pretty fine to me. Now, after that, we have our hair. And what I usually do is I do the fill hair part, right? And the reason why is because what it's going to do is it kind of darkens this area. Sometimes it fill this in as well. Now you have I'm gonna show you this that I never really touched, but basically what it's doing is, you know, you can fill the hair out a little bit, your hairline, make it bigger, make it smaller, but remove stray hairs. This is something I don't do often, and I'm gonna just tell you why. It's because of the way that they do it. Okay, so I'm gonna just put it all the way up, remove stray hairs. And as you see, they got rid of it. But when you look real close at the way they do, it's a weird way that they do, right? Because you can still see it. And the thing about it is, what I would say is, what I would do if I was you, because if it's hair here, it would get rid of it as well, like this, it tries to, but the way it does it is blurring it. So when you look at the photo here, it may not seem full quality, and that's because it's not. Once you export it, once you pull it up, you get to really see the full quality of it. So you'll put it in the Photoshop, because usually I still finish everything in Photoshop. That's just, I can't stop doing that. But what you will see it do is kind of like this area, right? This was hair. It will kind of blur that, and I don't like the way that look. So if you do want to use it, my suggestion would be the within outlines. Go ahead on and like undo that, and what that does is it only it only takes care of the outside and leaves the part on the skin, so it's not blurring the skin as it's trying to get rid of the stray hairs. I'm just going to leave it off because I have no problem with those stray hairs. Right now, if a person has gray hair or white hair, whatever you want to call it, they have this as well where you could get rid of that. And okay, let's see what it did. For this one, what it did was it got rid of the highlights in the hair. Don't really care to do that. But as always, you have this pencil tool, so if it's a spot that is touching you don't want it to, you get to control that. Now the full body reshape, okay, the full body reshape, this is nice because of all of the options. Now you have a AI reshape, which would either make it applies it to pretty much the whole image. So you can make her bigger or you can make her smaller, right? And it kind of just does a full thing, but you get to fine tune things. So let's say you wanted the body to be bigger, you could choose that. If you want her to be taller, you can choose that, right? If you want the head to be huge or small, you can choose that. Same thing with neck and everything else. But one of my favorite things would probably be waist and hips. And the reason why is because hips, you put them hips and it will kind of give you like that Coke size shape. You do the waist, you could get that waist in, put the waist in a little bit and then push the hips. So the hips go out and then you're going from that to that with ease, right? It kind of stretched, well, yeah. So leg length, you got your arms. Some people say, oh, I don't like my arms, can you make them smaller? Yep, with a slider. Oh, my neck, yep, you can change so much. And remember, none of this costs you a credit until you export. So let's keep it like this, right? Here's the best thing. One, if you want to, you can save this as a preset. So let's just call this YouTube preset, okay? Preset. Boom, save that. Here's the best thing. Let's say I come to the next photo. Well, I could come down here, go to YouTube preset. Once I find it, here we go. Click it, and one click, it's going to do the same exact thing. Now, the only thing that's different is, for instance, I don't know if you remember, I got rid of that. That won't happen. So I would still need to come back to the top where I first came here, right? Do the opacity all the way 100. And then if we want to keep this on the face, do that, press OK, and it comes back. Right? So you still will have to make those fine-tune adjustments, right? Or let's say maybe she was smiling in a photo, which I don't think she showed teeth in any of these, but we didn't adjust the teeth. So let's see how it'll look with this being the full body. We'll click it, boom, it still did those changes. Once again, we would just need to come, we would just need to come here. If we wanted to keep that part, just because this video is running kind of long, we won't. But let's get into this because, like I was saying, I want to show you the background cleanup. Okay, so let's apply this preset to it. Boom, it did its thing. And what we will do now is come to this tab that's a background. Okay, now with this background tab, let's just pay attention to all of this down here. We have distraction removals, which I'm kind of curious if it will change this, because if you have a light in there or anything like that, it takes it out, no problem. So let's do distractions. This feature works on solid backgrounds, but let's go distractions. Okay, now let's do clean backdrop. It was no distractions basically. Let's go to clean backdrop. Solid backdrop, boom. And just like that, it gets rid of it, right? It's amazing. And if you have color banding, if you know what that is, you can click that and do the same thing. This is background enhancement. And like we go from this to this, super easy, super simple, amazing to say the least. You also have close wrinkles. I personally wouldn't touch these wrinkles because it's part of it, and I wouldn't. But if you wanted to, it will do its best to get it. It gets out those fine wrinkles, but like I said, this isn't really a wrinkle. In my opinion, it isn't. Then you have your crop. Now, another thing I didn't speak to you about, and I think a lot of people don't realize this about Evoto, you also have a healing tool, and you can do clone stamp, you can do your spot healing, and you can do the patch healing, and you also have liquefy. You can literally push things where you want to in here. It's so many different things. It's not just let's exit that and keep that. It's not just playing with sliders. If you feel like it's something that it missed, like let's say right here, I can come over with this tool right here, get in there just like I'm in Photoshop or anything else, and take care of it, no problem, right? If you feel like it's anything, you can literally, no problem. And it's faster than Lightroom. I would say this is on par with Photoshop as far as how fast it can do it, but that's for any of this stuff, right? You want to get the hair, right? Like we was talking about earlier, you can come through, pull his hair out, and just like your editor, go ahead on and do everything. You do not get charged a credit until, hold on, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get that, until you export. Now let's export. So I'm gonna actually export all 4 of these photos because I like them. What we would do is first we gotta press OK to save all of the healing brush stuff we just did. So now what we do is we hit export, and you choose how you want to do it. I would recommend always doing it in the TIFF. Do not export it as a JPEG, okay? Just because you want that quality, you want the ability to be able to do everything you can do. You want that huge file size to be able to keep that, because they charge you per export. So keep your TIFF files, make them 16-bit, and then that way you can go into Photoshop and you can save it as a JPEG, just so you have that original file, okay? Because if you do it as a JPEG and you're like, oh, I'm gonna change this up, or now you gotta go back and you gotta do it again, keep the TIFF file, just trust me. No watermark or anything, press export and it will start. And once that happens, all of your jobs will be right here. So this is what we're doing right now. It's saying that it's going to do 4. This is the current process. Once it's finished, it will come over here to the completed section, but it's still going. And are we going to wait for this? Sure, why not? It's taking usually longer than it usually takes. Let's come back. And then let's go back here. Okay. Oh, I don't know why it kicked up. Now, boom, it's done. It's done that quick. There we go. And that's about it. I mean, what are we looking like? 28 minutes on this. I don't want it to be too high, but I do want to show you things that I've done with this, because I've been posting so much when it comes to it. Like these photos right here. And every time you start, it's gonna do it at first. So this is before. All right, here we go, and this is after. So this is before, and this is after. And I'm telling you, it's before, after. It does a fantastic job. So this is Evoto. Like I said, I have a link where you can get 30 free credits. Remember, you do not get charged until a credit. You do not get charged a credit until you export. So feel free to play with all of your photos. See if you like it or not. If you do, then what you can do is there will be a price tab. I'll kind of show you that price tab. It always changes, but I will show you the price tab so you can at least see how they charge for this. Don't know if I get a discount or what, but currently I have the basic plus plan, which comes with do I have a basic? No, I don't. I have a basic plan. The basic plan comes with 2 devices. That's the only reason I didn't choose the starter plan. because I have my laptop and I edit on both. So I chose this, but you also could pay as you go. It's a little bit more expensive. Maybe you pay $20 for 200 credits. That is 200 edits. It's not a bad deal. 20 bucks, 200 edits. If you don't want to go with the annual plan, the only difference that the annual plan is just it gives you a bigger discount, because if you run out of these credits, you don't have to wait till a whole nother year. You get the top off at this same price. So if you have any questions, just leave it below in the comment section and I'll try my hardest to answer it. But that is pretty much it. Until the next time, peace.